Com.
Back on the show that's all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, and joined by the college planning expert, the premier college planning expert, Chris Everett. Chris, welcome back to the program.
Well, thank you so much. Happy day to you.
Well, I hope you're getting ready for a fantastic Labor Day and enjoying the weekend.
We are. It's grandbaby weekend.
Oh, well, you're having a good time, that means. So, Chris, I've been hearing a term knocked around, and I was hoping that you can clarify it for me, and as well as our listeners, and make sure everybody understands what this term of college inflation means.
You know, years ago, college inflation, well, first of all, inflation just generally means things are getting more and more expensive each year.
Well, we see that on our when we go shopping every week.
That's right. So we have to do the same kind of accounting and planning when it comes to college planning. So one of the reasons that we want to make sure that our kids are going to be finished doing college in 4 years as opposed to the new normal of 5, 6, and, oh my Lord, they're now even counting 7- and 8-year bachelor graduation rates. And as you can imagine, every year that you prolong graduation, you have inflation applied to that new year that you're going into. So there's another cost increase. And so the longer you stay in college, the more expensive it becomes.
And can you provide a brief history of college inflation?
Sure. When I first started doing college planning, oh my Lord, almost 20 years ago, we used to say 4 to 5% was the inflation factor. So you could count on needing 4 or 5% more each year going forward. Now, in the last couple of years, the actual inflation rate has actually come down. And so now between 3.5% and 4% is what we're looking at. So even though the rates are still very high, the inflation has come down a little bit, which is just exciting.
Wow.
You know, one of the reasons college has gotten so expensive is because they're more like country clubs now than they ever used to be before. You know, you find fancy dorm rooms and rock climbing walls and fancy swimming pools, and, you know, somebody has to pay for that stuff.
That's for sure. We are chatting with Chris Everett of Everett Wealth Solutions, and as I said, the premier college planning expert, and of course we'll be sure to share Chris's information shortly. But Chris, you and I were chatting earlier, and you mentioned an important cost offset for those that are looking at private colleges and private schools. And I'm sure our listeners would love to learn more about any opportunity to save money. So, Chris, tell us what you've learned.
Well, when we think about cost offsets, there's a couple of ways to go about it. One is to engage through the process of college planning so that you can structure your financial life to qualify for more need-based financial aid. That's one way of doing it. And it's really just engaging in solid financial planning with a college planner who knows the right structure for you. But there's another way to do it. Let's say you don't qualify for need-based financial aid. And you can do all sorts of income shifting and asset shifting that you want, but you're still not going to qualify for need-based financial aid. Well, there's a program called SAGE, Tuition Rewards. It was started years ago in order to encourage students to actually take over the process and become involved and engaged in generating dollars to pay for college. How we do that now is through our office. If you engage with our firm and your student goes through our back-end academic planning service, they can actually earn 5,000 tuition reward points, and each tuition reward point equals $1.
Likely, that sounds like it's potential for a year for free.
Well, thank you for saying that, because you're absolutely right. If we can work with parents of junior high or even middle school age children, we have enough time to be able to generate it's actually a little over $50,000 right now.
We're going to have to take a break in a moment, Chris, but tell us, do you know which schools are participating in the Sage Scholars Tuition Rewards Program?
There are over 345 schools currently enrolled, and they're all private schools. And if you go to tuitionrewards.com, you can find the list there.
Tuitionrewards.com. Valuable information from Chris Everett of Everett Wealth Solutions and Everett College Funding. We're going to take a quick break, and we've got some more tips, advice, and information for you. And we're going to check back with Chris shortly to provide more information about this program, as well as perhaps a few helpful tips about college inflation, which is a very real thing. Inflation is not just in the supermarket, is it anymore, Chris?
No, it isn't.
Well, Chris, before I let you go for a moment, can you tell our listeners how people can learn more about your helpful advice on college funding?
Absolutely. You can give us a call at 708-771-7777. That's 708-771-7777. Or you could visit our website, everettwealthsolutions.com. And there's plenty of information on our website, and give us a call. We'd happily run you through a program to help you really understand the fundamentals about how
708-771-7777. We'll be back with Chris shortly. You're listening to Get Down to Business.